Hi guys, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about figuring out the purpose of your spiritual gifts or your psychic abilities. So if you are aware that you have some sort of spiritual gifts, but you're just not sure exactly how you're supposed to use these gifts or how they can benefit you, or maybe you're looking for a little bit of confirmation about what you might already intuitively know about these spiritual gifts, we're going to be looking into all of that today. So as a little bit of a side note, I have done a pick a card reading about your spiritual gifts and your psychic abilities in the past. I will try to drop a card to that video right here and put a link to it in the description box. If you wanted to maybe uncover more gifts that aren't brought to the forefront in this reading, you might find a little bit more and be able to dive deeper through that video. But in this pick a card, we are going to look at why you've been given these gifts, what you can do with them. We're also going to look at factors that strengthen your spiritual gifts and abilities and those that might stand in the way or can get in the way of the spiritual gifts that you have been given. So there are 3 readings for you to choose from today. Reading number 1 is going to be associated with this purple candle, and we're going to be starting off with this oracle card here. So I'll give you a close-up of that card. And we also have your second oracle already waiting for you inside your reading. For reading number 2, you have this pink candle and this oracle card. So there's a close-up of the card for you. For reading number 3, we have the green candle, and this is the oracle card. All right, so take as much time as you need to select the reading that's calling to you the most. I will have your timestamps down below in the description box, and like I said before, I will also link the other pick a card that can help you to discover some of your psychic gifts or spiritual abilities in the description box as well. I will jump in with reading number 1, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, number 1, if you were drawn to the purple candle and this oracle card, this is going to be your reading. We're going to take a look at the purpose behind your spiritual gifts or your psychic abilities. So let's dive right in and take a look at your first oracle card, see what we have. So you were drawn to card 17, and this card actually says Inner Oracle. I feel like we're getting into your some of your spiritual gifts right away in this reading. So like I was saying in the intro, this reading isn't so much about uncovering which spiritual gifts you have, but it's more to help you to see the purpose behind whatever spiritual gift you feel you have. But in the process of doing that, I kind of know like we're going to uncover some more. So right here, I feel like we're already uncovering a spiritual gift of yours. This card literally says you are the channel. And I feel like one of your spiritual gifts is really being a clear channel, and potentially at times even having prophetic visions or receiving prophetic messages. So one of the first ways that this gift may have presented itself to you is through a sense of deja vu. Deja vu literally translates to already seen, meaning that you have already seen something before it's actually taken place. You've already had a clear vision about something before it has occurred in the 3D. So for many of you, one of your main gifts seems to be focused around clear sight, clairvoyance. But because you are a clear channel, you may also receive auditory messages. Yeah, I feel like at some times these things can show up for you almost like a faint whisper is kind of how I'm hearing it. So it might seem like someone's just faintly whispering in your ear, or it can even come to you or be perceived by you more like it's a thought that you're having, but you at the same time kind of know like that's not my own thought. So it's almost like someone like planted this thought in your head or whispered something in your ear. These would be the kind of messages that you feel, sense, or know have come from spirit. So I think that for a lot of you, you've had this sense like you might have consciously thought that was your own idea, but then again, you kind of know that it was a message from spirit. I'm looking at this number 17 here, which reduces to an 8. 8s are my symbol for abundance, for manifestation, for infinite possibilities and creation. So Eights also speak about work too, and our journey in terms of our life purpose or our career path. So this message, for some of you, can be about your spiritual gifts being meant to be used in your chosen profession or in the work that you offer to the world. So that can be a sign that some of these gifts, either you're currently using them in your profession, or there's something that can be used in your chosen profession or in a certain passion that you feel or a direction that you feel called toward. So really interesting there. I feel like you guys are definitely very gifted when it comes to manifestation, and that somehow your spiritual gifts will or have already tied into your work. This might be something that's important to you to kind of like tap into your more spiritual side and bring that to whatever kind of work you offer out into the world, or to have a spiritual business or to work in like a spiritual field. So we will dive more into that. Let's look at your oracle card, your second oracle card. Okay, you guys got the black egg. It's really interesting that you got this. So first of all, this is kind of a rare card in this animal spirit deck, because there's only like, I don't know, 4 or 5 cards that fall under the spirit element in this deck, and the black egg is one of them. So this is already showing me there's something special. There's something special about you guys going on here. This card is actually kind of confirming that you do receive messages directly from spirit. Whenever I see this egg imagery, it kind of speaks to me about potential. And it's like the idea that there's a lot of potential inside the egg. The egg kind of holds the potential for life, for expansion, for growth, possibilities, ideas. In the case of the black egg, this is also specifically about truth. So what I'm seeing for you is a theme of potential here, really, kind of recurring theme through your reading so far. Also a recurring theme of manifestation, because I do see the egg as kind of a representation of what can be manifested, what can be brought into the world, and what potential something holds. So I feel like you guys are meant to use your spiritual gifts, whatever they might be, although we have talked about some of what may be resonating with you, but whatever these gifts might be, I feel like you're meant to use them to make the unseen seen. In other words, to manifest, to bring forth potential. Kind of like bringing intangible ideas into physical form. Also, because you are a clear channel, you can receive messages from spirit so clearly that you're able to see potential in places that other people may have missed it or will not see it. Things that other people will overlook. People that others would overlook is kind of how that's coming through as well. You will see potential in people and things and in situations that your average person would overlook and would miss. It's like you focus right in on the potential of what something could be, what it could offer, what it could grow into. Very interesting. A few examples that are coming to mind with this are that, like, you could be a designer or a creator of some kind. So you can kind of take an idea that was once intangible, that was once only a picture in your mind. I feel like the imagery on this card here kind of says it all. He almost looks like he's picturing something, he's imagining something, he's seeing it in its fullest form even before it has been conceived, most likely. Even before it was conceived, even when it's in this state and it hasn't hatched yet, it hasn't been born out into the world, it's like he can already see it. He's imagining, he's visualizing, he's manifesting already. And your spiritual gifts help you to do this. Yeah. So things that were once only a picture in your mind, you can kind of bring those to life for other people to see, for other people to hold, to touch, to experience, to enjoy. you have a way really of connecting with people because you see the truth of who they really are, and you can see or sense, for some of you it might be that it's more of a sense, their soul's essence and the potential that might be lying dormant inside of them. You can use your gifts to draw the potential out of people, out of situations. Wow, okay. For some of you, this could take the form of like counseling, life coaching, teaching, maybe doing some sort of spiritual guidance. I feel like for some of you, if this does fall under like a teaching or a counseling category, I feel like a lot of you can use your spiritual gifts to help people who might be even more challenged. Like they might have a particular challenge and maybe they've been overlooked. Maybe people don't think that they have a lot of potential. Maybe they think they're not very smart or not very gifted in any way or not going anywhere. I feel like you're the type of person that can look into someone's soul and can see who they were truly meant to be in this world. You can see what their unique gifts are, and you can kind of draw that potential out. So this is really a beautiful thing, and this doesn't have to be just in the form of teaching or guiding people, but I feel like this is just a role that you play in your life. You might play this role with your friends, your family, or you might somehow tie this into the work that you do, but I just feel like you can see something in its completed form before it has ever taken place, and that has to do with you being a clear channel, and that has to do with you having these strong abilities when it comes to manifestation. Another thing that's coming to mind, like we were talking about design, so this can be conceptualizing an idea that has never existed before and bringing it into physical form. Anything that you're making, it's like you see the completed, what is the word I'm looking for? You see the completed version of that thing before it has even started to be created. So very interesting with that. Some of you might like see the potential in spaces. So it could be like what someone else would see is like a house that's falling apart, and what you would see is this beautiful cozy place that you can fix up and you can make it like livable and enjoyable for other people. So these are practical ways that your spiritual gifts can play into your real life, your everyday life. Yeah, I feel like you're really somebody who's here to help people and things as well become what they were meant to be. You have such a clear picture of what and who these people or these things are. You have such a clear picture of their potential. Yeah, of what they have the potential to become before it has even taken place in the physical world. The way that he's looking at this egg though, like that, this is what's really standing out to me. Like the way that these two cards are kind of playing together, the way that he's looking at this egg so intensely, it's really giving me this feeling of his focused attention is transforming it in some way. Or actually drawing out the possibility that's contained in this egg. So you guys are creators, truly. You're manifesting new possibilities with this mirror image here on this card as well. I feel like you may be very empathic as well, and like you're able to pick up on people's emotions quite easily, and it's like you can either mirror back to them what they are feeling or meet them right where they are, or you can kind of change and transmute this energy I'm hearing. So that's really interesting. It's like when he's looking this way, it's like he's focused on what is or what could be, and when he's looking the other way, it's kind of representing the fact that you guys have the ability to change energy. So you can lift people's moods, you can change what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, you can give them new hope, you can give them a new vision. Very interesting. And this is all because you are so tapped in, and whatever kind of spiritual gifts you have already identified in yourself, these are ways that they can be used, even if it's not something that we've touched on yet. So very, very interesting. Let's look at some tarot and see what else we can pull out of this. I keep hearing potential, potential, potential. This could be For some of you, the reason that this message of potential is coming through so strongly, it could be that you haven't fully tapped into your spiritual gifts yet, and there's a lot of potential there. But I really think that for most of you, this is talking about the way that you see the potential of any situation, any person, and you have the ability to really to draw that out and to make it real, like to take it out of that place of just being a potential outcome and more into a place of being the actual thing that is being seen and experienced. So we have the Eight of Emotions here. That would be the Eight of Cups. Very interesting. I see you guys going on a journey. So in this card, I see this person kind of going on a journey that, like, I feel like the surroundings in this card are very stark. So this could be an indication that kind of discovering these spiritual gifts has been a little bit of a journey for you. It could have even felt lonely. Oh, wow. Okay. We have your cards flying out two at a time. We have Justice, the Knight of Emotions, so the Knight of Cups. Really interesting. Let's grab one more card for you. Two Cups cards. Let's see. What is the purpose of your spiritual gifts? What is the purpose? Oh, okay. We have the Tower. Okay. Your cards, I feel like your cards really wanted to come out. Like, I don't know, I just have this feeling. It's like, if some of you haven't tapped into all of your spiritual gifts, I feel like your guides or somebody's kind of like pushing you, urging you to figure some of this out or to use more of the spiritual gifts that you've gotten, because it was just something about the way your cards came out. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's something you really have to feel, but it just feels like somebody is trying to encourage you. Like these messages are so readily available to you. We have the Four of Inspiration at the bottom of the deck, so that would be the Four of Wands. Okay. It's really interesting that we were talking about your empathic abilities and your gifts when it comes to picking up on others' emotions and connecting with people on an emotional level. And then we have all of this Cups energy show up for you. We had two Cups cards come out. So the Cups, or as they're referred to in this deck, emotions, they're about just that, emotions. It's really confirming your ability to hone in on people's emotions. And I'm hearing that for some of you, this is an ability to connect even with animals. So this extends past connecting with humans. So you might be able to kind of communicate and sense the needs of animals as well. Interesting. You know what's kind of coming to mind with that is, I think that these ideas of potential, along with kind of this idea here of fairness and balance that's showing up with the Justice card. Some of you, when it comes to this this connection that you might have with animals, some of you might feel called to rescue animals, to rehome animals, or have an interest in preserving the environment in some way. And this might be a way that your psychic gifts or your spiritual gifts are going to be used or can be put to use. You might receive messages or little knowings that kind of let you know like what needs to happen or who needs help. And it's like I was saying, like this ability extends beyond humans and into animals, so we can kind of work that the reverse way as well. You might kind of have a sense or a need to help people. You might have a calling to help people as well as animals, and you might kind of get messages about like what's needed at any given time because you're connected on this very emotional level. Yeah, I do see that some of you are into like preservation of the earth or caring for the earth in some way. Maybe it's just so you do your part by recycling, but it could be a greater passion, and this could be a way that you are using your gifts and abilities. I feel like this is basically you see the way things could be transformed for the better, the ways that could bring more balance and more harmony to situations. And it's like, this is just a major way that your spiritual gifts can be used. You help people walk away from old ideas, from old thought patterns. Your ideas and your clear vision kind of help to instigate change. They tear down old structures and build something new, something better with this Tower card here. With the Black Egg came the idea of speaking your truth, using your inner voice, potentially writing for some of you, or communicating through music. So you may be called to use your voice to express these ideas that you were channeling from the divine. Yeah, I'm also hearing, hold on a second, let me see. I'm hearing that some of you receive messages and spiritual guidance through music or poetry, because I'm kind of seeing it. So I'm seeing like short verses. So this could either be music or poetry. And like, I'm talking massive epiphanies through, like, you're listening to a song and something suddenly occurs to you, or you're reading a poem or something and like you wake up to a new idea. You kind of peel back another layer. For some of you, this is a way you receive a lot of your messages, or this could be something you could look to increase your channeling abilities. It's really interesting because I feel like you guys are such clear channels, but some of you might not realize when you're channeling, or when these are like your own thoughts. But yes, connection through music and poetry seems to be highlighted for you guys. So that is great. That's a way that you can tap in. Let's dive deeper. Let's pull some oracles and see what this is about. Number one, what's the purpose of your spiritual gifts and abilities? What is the purpose? I want to point out that this inner oracle card also says self-fulfilling prophecy. I feel like a self-fulfilling prophecy can work both ways. It's kind of a double-edged sword at times. So this is just kind of an indication that, like, hey, you guys are master manifestors. I just want you to know that. That means you can manifest what you want, what you see, what... Look at the card I'm holding. I didn't even look at it and it says visionary. That's exactly what we're talking about. You are a visionary. But it can work both ways. So it's like, you know, maybe not focus so much on the negative. Like, we're not really into the portion of what can hinder, what can hold back or get in the way of your spiritual abilities, but just know you're manifesting all the time. You are, you're great at manifesting. You're great at pulling out the potential from a situation. And you could also potentially pull out outcomes that you don't want to experience. So it's just kind of, it's kind of an indication. It's just a little bit of a, like, hey, be careful what you're manifesting, because you're actually really gifted when it comes to manifesting. So interesting. You have child eternal as well. Okay, let's look at this. Yeah, you guys, the biggest thing I'm seeing is you guys change things. So somehow whatever spiritual gifts you've been given, they are they're meant to invoke change. They bring about change. Your vision actually has the ability to produce a ton of change all around you. You have the ability to change people from the inside out. And this could be that you're helping others. You're able to help others to heal. You change situations. You change the way things are done. Like we were talking about, you can help people walk away from old ideas, old patterns, and move into something new. This tower energy can talk about breaking down the old so that something new can be built in its place. And this vision is coming from the way that you view the world with fresh eyes. Like we have this child eternal card. I feel like this is key for you guys, because it's like the way a child sees the possibilities and believes in the unseen. you still view the world that way. You still have the ability to view the world that way. And that is where these powers of manifestation and this ability to see the potential is really coming from, because you're a person that can still dream. You can still imagine. You can still see things through the eyes of a child who hasn't been told, no, that's not possible, who hasn't been let down. You still have the ability to access that. And those of us that can access things like that are really the people who create change, really the visionaries, because when everyone else is kind of just like content with how things are, what has been done, what has been created, I feel like that's not you. I feel like you're not going to just be content unless it's something powerful, unless it's something meaningful. If there's more potential for something better, I feel like you're the person that sees that. And this does go back to your ability to connect and to channel. And when you do come into contact with things that you've already imagined, you get that sense of deja vu. You feel like, wait, did this already happen? And that, just know that's because your vision is so crystal clear that it will feel to you like it has already taken place. You have already experienced it. That's actually manifestation right there. Already experiencing something before it has even taken place in the physical. This is really beautiful energy. Yeah, this is beautiful energy. I feel like some of you are like to the level of like inventor, like all the way from, you know, just conceptualizing like small changes and ideas to inventing something brand new that no one has ever seen. There's so much potential inside of you, and because of that, you're able to see the potential inside of others as well. So let's look at your tarot cards that are specifically for the areas of what will strengthen your spiritual gifts and what will weaken your spiritual gifts, or what can stand in the way. So for strengthening, you have the 8 of Cups in reverse. So there is it in its upright position, but it came out reverse for you, which is interesting because we have the 8 of Emotions here, which is the 8 of Cups. So that is a repeated message for you. Let's see what else we have. We have the 8 of Wands, another 8, and we also have the 9 of Wands. Okay. I feel like this is really interesting because that energy of 8s again is coming through, and we were kind of we were talking about this with the card 17 reducing to an 8, and this being a sign of manifestation and of potential, which I feel like was kind of confirmed with that black egg as well. But now you're having all of these 8s show up for you. So again, we're talking about manifestation. We're talking about your abilities to manifest. And this is kind of telling me that the more you manifest, the more you practice these abilities, the stronger they will get. So we are looking at what's going to help you, what's going to strengthen these spiritual gifts and abilities. And this doesn't just stop at manifestation. This is whatever kind of spiritual gift or ability you feel like you have been given. More practice is going to create a stronger connection for you. If this is about channeling, and maybe sometimes you feel like you're connected enough to channel, or you feel like you're receiving very clear messages, and other times you feel like your intuition's not on point, like you're not connected, like maybe you imagine the entire thing. This is about practicing even when it doesn't feel like it's coming naturally, because it is going to strengthen your abilities as a whole. I also feel like this 8 of Cups might be relevant to some of you in particular, because I feel like I'm getting a message that some of you might have walked away from your gifts at some point, that you may have given up or gotten so busy with life or confused about your abilities, potentially even doubted your abilities at times, to the point where like you just walked away. Yeah, we have the 8 of Cups in reverse, which is actually telling me that, like, okay, let me try to explain this. I feel like I'm seeing that you guys may have walked away from something, and your guidance here in terms of strengthening this spiritual gift is to return to it. With the Eight of Cups in reverse, it's to return to something that you might have left behind before, to revisit old ideas or pick up where you left off when it comes to developing your skills. So maybe there was a time you were studying a lot, you were like diving into this, you might have been practicing by talking to people, maybe even giving readings to people, or whatever this looks like to you. But there could have come a time where you kind of just forgot about it and you left it in the dust. So this is another thing that will strengthen it. This is to come back to what you have started, come back to what you sensed was true for you at one point, which is really encouraging, because this is kind of telling me like there's not a whole lot that you have to do to strengthen your skills. Your skills are already on point. Your gifts and abilities are already strong, but if you have walked away from them, returning is going to bring you back to that place of of completion, of wholeness when it comes to these gifts. With the Eight of Wands, I see kind of the energy of not resisting your spiritual potential, but diving in head first and kind of letting this unfold and develop within you. I love the imagery on this Eight of Wands, because it's like she looks maybe a little bit overwhelmed, and it looks like things are happening kind of fast. It could even be the sense of like something getting away from her, something getting out of her control. But it's also this excited feeling. It's like this feeling of potential and something building. So I do feel like this is kind of a message of like, just go for it. The Eight of Wands can talk a lot about speed. So this can be about just really diving into it, just really letting this happen, letting this unfold. It will, all of this combined will strengthen your spiritual gifts. And then we have also the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is a card of boundaries. It's a card of protection. It can be a card of guardedness. And how is this coming through for me right now? For you guys, I feel like this is about protecting your energy, being very crucial to strengthening your spiritual gifts, because if you aren't preserving your energy or maintaining healthy boundaries, you can become drained. And you could have experienced this before. This could even be a reason why you've walked away or stepped away from some of your spiritual gifts or your spiritual pursuits, because you could have felt that you were drained. Many of you, like we were talking about before, are empaths, and that will mean that you are very susceptible to the energies around you. So feeling everyone's energy all the time can be exhausting, and it can deplete you. Be sure to clear your energy after heavy social interactions, or maybe just after any type of social interaction. It can be helpful for you to clear that energy away so that you're in touch and in tune with your own energy, and not kind of walking around with everyone else's energy clinging to you and trying to sift through all of that. So you might look into like salt baths or particular crystals that offer some form of protection, maybe using sound frequency to clear and reset your energy, because we were kind of talking about the way that you receive messages and music and poetry being relevant to you. So it might be something with sound and some sort of vibration that helps you to clear away this energy. You also might want to put up a protective, energetic, I'm going to call it a love bubble. So you might want to put up an energetic love bubble around you, so that you aren't taking on everyone's energy all the time, and just allow love and peace and good feelings to flow through that bubble. But keep your boundaries when it comes to your own energy, because you do have to preserve some of that for yourself. Basically, I feel like the message here for you is to strengthen your spiritual gifts. I feel like it's just about exploring and protecting. Just diving deep into that exploration, but making sure that you are energetically protected as you do so. So let's take a look at the flip side, and let's look at things that might get in the way of your spiritual gifts. So we first have the Knight of Wands. We have the Five of Wands. Lots of fire energy here. And we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay. Yeah. So with this, I feel like we're talking about life circumstances getting in the way sometimes. Kind of getting in the way of you being able to develop your gifts, or this could have been something that has happened in the past. So to me, this is like, it could just be the busyness of life, sometimes presenting challenges when it comes to tapping into this inner voice. And I'm looking at this wheel in reverse. I feel like for a lot of you, if anything stands in your way when it comes to your spiritual gifts, or if it has previously stood in your way, you might feel like these are situations that have been out of your control. These could even be health issues for some of you. You might have felt like a health concern got in the way, or it depleted your energy, or it took your focus away from what you were trying to pursue. It doesn't have to be something like that. It can be busy with kids, busy with work, busy with your schooling. It can be just unfortunate events that we run up on in life. Everyone goes through it, but it can be literally that you're just like, you know, this happened and then that happened and then the other thing happened, and I just didn't have time to to research this or to study this or to practice this. So it just feels to me like life can sometimes get in the way of you further developing your spiritual gifts. Yeah, I really feel like there's 3 separate issues showing up here, and they might all tie in together for some of you, but there's really 3 definite issues showing up. So 1, issues that are out of your control, or life circumstances that have been out of your control. That's one of these. The 5 of Wands can talk about conflict, and that can be either conflict that's happening inside of you or external conflict. This card did come out in the upright position, which would suggest more of an external conflict, but it can still talk about internal conflict here. So, wow, sorry about that plane. That's pretty loud. Let's see here. Just wait for that to go by. Yeah. This could be internal conflict, but this can also be conflict that's going on outside of you. So this could be that people around you aren't very accepting of your gifts, or have made you doubt your gifts, or don't believe. This could even be that sometimes people think that like they might view your gifts as a negative thing when you've known that it's a positive thing. So for some of you, that can be it. Like friends, family members might look down upon some of these gifts, or think that you might be dabbling into things that you shouldn't be. I'm kind of getting that message for some of you. This can also be your worry about how people will perceive these gifts, or will perceive these abilities. So you might think that you will be judged for being more of a spiritual person, or pursuing more of these like more mysterious things, pursuing the occult. They could be that you're worried about, you have been worried about judgment, or that worry about judgment could stand in the way of the development of these gifts. The Knight of Wands, because this energy can be so impulsive and passionate, some of you might have several different interests that you want to pursue, or you might be gifted in several different areas, and you could sometimes experience shiny object syndrome is what I'll call it, where you don't always stick to things, or you don't always see things all the way through to fully develop in a particular area. And we're probably all guilty of that at times. I know I am. Like, I'm over here raising my hand. That happens all the time. So this could be something that stands in the way. You could have been on the verge of really tapping into something, or really developing something, but then another topic caught your attention. This could also be that same feeling of life kind of caught your attention. Life ran away with you, or ran away out of your control, and things just got really busy. But this could be another thing that stands in the way of the development of these gifts, just kind of like moving on to the next thing, maybe a little too fast before that first thing, before that focus is developed as fully and as completely, and before it's integrated into your life in a way that you can make it a part of your daily life, so that you won't kind of lose sight of it. Yeah, so this is really about being a multi-passionate person, which is a beautiful thing, but it can sometimes stand in the way of developing a particular skill or interest, because there's so many skills to develop. There's so much to explore. So yeah, let's get some final messages for you. Anything that will help make this more clear, or any advice that your guides want to give you. Gotta shuffle one more time. That was rough. That was pretty rough. Let's see. What messages do you have for number 1 about their spiritual gifts and abilities? The purpose of their spiritual gifts and abilities. Let's see. Okay, we have transformation. I'm going to pull another card for you. I feel like that fits so beautifully with the energy that we have already been picking up on, because we were talking about like this idea of change. You are meant to transform, and you are meant to change things, ideas. Whoa. Okay, and we have potential. Whoa, wait. Isn't that what we were talking about with the egg? I almost was just like, yeah, potential. No. This is exactly what we were talking about. You seeing the potential. I don't know why, but I feel like I want to look at the bottom of the deck, and the gateway card is at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like some of you are potentially right at that gateway, like you're about to dive deeper into developing some of these spiritual gifts, and that is kind of an indication of that. Yeah, with this idea of transformation and potential, I feel like I don't even need to say more. That's just, it's too perfect. This is a great way to wrap up your reading. It's not so much advice, but it's really solidifying some of the messages that we saw throughout your reading. You have the ability to transform things, to see the potential within things, to see what something could grow into, what it could be, and to like actually make the changes that will bring it to that point. You are, again, a visionary. So yeah, you are here, and you are meant to use your gifts to create change, and it doesn't have to be on a giant scale. This can be change in one individual person at a time. This can be changing just your surroundings, just what you see around you. You see what something could be. You don't see what it is currently in front of you. So you might see somebody who, let's say, doesn't have a lot of confidence, or who isn't achieving as much as they want in their life. And instead of seeing them in that form, you see everything that they were meant to be. And you have a way of bringing this to fruition. You have a way of actually manifesting this through your attention, like we were talking about with this oracle card here. So this is really beautiful. I feel like no matter what your gifts are, these are the some of the main purposes behind the gift that you have. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave your reading there, number 1. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If this reading did resonate with you, if you enjoyed any of these messages, if they kind of hit home for you, don't forget to hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe too if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number 2. If you were drawn to the pink candle and this oracle card, this is going to be your reading. We're going to be finding out what the purpose behind your spiritual gifts and your psychic abilities is. Like, what have you been given these things for, and what can you use these abilities for? So let's dive in and take a look at your first oracle card. You were drawn to card 15, Galactic Vibration. This card says direct channel. We were talking a lot about channeling in reading 1. If you did feel drawn to that reading, you might want to check it out, because that is something that's a similarity that I'm seeing already. I'm feeling like many of you that were drawn to this group have experienced a sudden or intense spiritual awakening. If you have not experienced that yet, I feel like this is energy that you felt sort of building toward an awakening like this. It kind of feels abrupt. It feels like it might have abruptly happened, or that you have this sense that something will abruptly happen or change. It certainly feels intense to me, no matter how or when this happens. For you, number 2, I'm already seeing that there is a lot of purpose behind your spiritual gifts. And even if you haven't been able to clearly define these gifts yet, or if you weren't able to define them for a very long time, I feel like many of you have always had this sense of being different, of being gifted, of having this purpose that maybe at times felt elusive to you, is how it's coming across, like something that you couldn't quite get a hold of. You couldn't maybe put a name to it, or you didn't know how to describe it. You didn't know anyone who shared these gifts. It could be something like that, but it just feels like you've always had this sense. Like you've always known this. Like you maybe even felt like you were more connected to your spiritual gifts and abilities when you were a child, when things were just like a little more simple, or when you just felt like you were more connected to higher realms. That's how it's coming through. Yeah. It could have felt like mysterious to you. Almost like you weren't able to put the pieces of your own puzzle together for some time, or you might still be in the process of assembling that puzzle. I believe that many of you were drawn to this pile because you are light workers. I'm getting heavy light worker vibes from this group. That's kind of a general term, but that would mean any kind of purpose related to spreading light, being a conduit of healing energy, being kind of a beacon of hope and joy in the world. This is a huge purpose. This is a huge, huge purpose for you. So I feel like, especially because if this has felt like it's vague to you, this could be the reason, because that term light worker can encompass a lot of different forms of energy work, energy healing, and purpose here on this earth. But I feel like this is kind of where you're fitting in. You're fitting into this really high purpose, very important. There's a very important reason that you have come here, and a very important reason that you have been given the spiritual gifts that you have been given. So I hope to be able to uncover more about how you can use those practically, but I am feeling there's a lot of weight to the gifts that you've been given. What I love about this is that this can be accomplished, like this idea of spreading light can be accomplished through everything that you do, through every action that you take. So I feel like I'm thinking of like the Midas touch here. Like the literal song, the Midas touch, is playing in my head right now. So I feel like instead of saying everything you touch turns to gold, it's like everything you touch turns to light. Many of you are healers, and this is a main reason that you've been given the gifts that you have been given. You were meant to use your spiritual gifts to heal. I'm hearing that your spiritual gifts are first meant to heal you. And through you, the light and that healing energy spreads outward. Healer, heal thyself is coming to me right now. So I feel like a lot of you may have gone through a journey of healing, either physically, mentally, emotionally, and a lot of these lessons that you've learned and wounds that you've healed are actually helping you to heal others and to spread that message, to spread that healing energy. That's really beautiful. That gives any kind of challenges, any kind of bumps in the road, or you could have felt like your whole experience has been quite bumpy, but it gives all of that a lot of meaning when you know that those challenges, or the things that have seemingly gone wrong for you, are going to end up being your message, or have already become your message, and they contribute to that light that you're spreading. This is really interesting, number 2. This is a lot. There's a lot that's coming through. This feels, like I was saying, it just feels so meaningful. I just feel like you guys, your purpose is very, very meaningful. Okay. Your guides are taking a whole different route, and I feel like I had other things to say along that line, so maybe we will circle back to where we were about you using your spiritual gifts to heal, and using maybe even some of the challenges that you've been through as a way to spread light. We are now focusing on your artistic talents. So your guides are pointing out that a lot of you have many artistic talents, that you might have eclectic taste or varied interests. And okay, I see. Sorry, sometimes the message doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm just saying things. I'm like, where are we going with this? I understand what your guides are saying. Your guides are actually talking about your ability to spread that light outward, and they're saying that because you are such an artistic soul, such an eclectic soul, because you will be found in many different areas, participating in many different things. And this could be because this is a general reading, so we're talking about the collective of number 2, but we're talking about your opportunity to spread the light. And your guides are saying you have a lot of opportunity to spread light because you have so many different things that you're good at, things that you're interested in. Different types of people will be drawn to you. And it basically that this is a beautiful part of your mission and your journey here, and a beautiful part of you having so many different interests and being so good at so many different things, because the world needs that light in all areas, in every nook and cranny of the world. We need that light that you have to spread. So this is really talking about you being able to know that you're able to spread this light and to heal, even if that healing is indirect. Some of you may be an energy healer. You may have been drawn to energy healing. You may be drawn to the medical field, or some sort of alternative medicine, some type of herbal medicine or something like that. So healing may take the form of that nutrition, food. I'm hearing for some of you. Healing may take that form for some of you, but for others of you, it won't be a direct form of healing. Like, let's use an example. You could maybe bag groceries at a grocery store, or you could work at a restaurant. All these food references, you guys. I must be hungry, or you're hungry. Somebody's hungry. But any work that you do, or any time that you spend in like any area, like anything you like to participate in, it doesn't even have to be your work. These are all opportunities for you to touch people and to heal people on an energetic level, even in everyday circumstances. Like, just, you're just at the grocery store. You have the ability to spread that light and to heal. And you may notice that you do kind of like lift people's spirits everywhere that you go. Even if it's just a short interaction, you will leave an impression. You will leave a drop of light, if that makes any sense at all. That's how your guides want me to say it. You leave a drop of light everywhere you go. Yeah. This is highly valuable. Like, I just want you to understand that that's highly valuable, because sometimes people aren't seeking out healing. They don't know that they need to be healed. They might not even believe that they can be. So it's light workers and energy workers like you that do such a service for everyone, because everywhere you go, you're able to provide that healing. You're able to spread a message. You're able to spread joy everywhere you go, even for those that weren't seeking any sort of healing. So this is really powerful. This is very beautiful. This is why you've been given the gifts that you're given. No matter what it is, you might have a number of gifts, but what I'm seeing is a main purpose behind whatever gifts you've been given is to be able to heal and to spread that light in everyday circumstances all the time. Your connection with spirit is very tapped in. Very, very tapped in. The term earth angel keeps coming to mind, and I think that for some of you, you're like some sort of spirit guide in the flesh. So you might feel like you've been sent here to heal and to guide in some way. I feel like many of you have sensed your purpose, even if you haven't been able to name it or define it. We were kind of talking about this in the beginning of the reading, but this is just coming through so strong that you've always known this about yourself. Yeah, there's this energy though, like there's this energy with you guys that I can't get away from. I'm so sorry to be spending so much time on this one card. I'm sorry, you guys, but let me just get this message out and we will continue on with the reading. this is because you're so tapped in. There's a lot of messages coming through for you guys. So I can't get away from this energy. This must be relevant to most of you because it's coming through so strong. We're focusing a lot on the light here with you, and I feel like the main one of the main purposes of your gifts and your main calling is to be the light and to light the path. But I'm also hearing that you've experienced darkness in your life. For some of you, a lot of darkness, and it's like these experiences have allowed you to truly know the light, to truly recognize the light, and to choose to live in the light because you've come through the darkness. This is what makes you such a powerful teacher and a guide, because you've experienced the shadows, you've kind of cultivated this sense of stability within yourself, and through the lessons that you've learned and the hardships that you've faced, you're able to be that light for someone else. So yes, we will move on from this, but I just really want to let you know that this doesn't mean that everything is light and bright and happy and has always been that way for you, but you are able to provide a sense of that kind of energy, that light, bright, happy energy, and to help other people tap into the divine, potentially even through the hardships that they've come through, because you know them. And this could be that you want to help people in a particular area that you've experienced. You may have experienced a particular form of abuse. You may have experienced a particular challenge with your health, something like that. And you can help people directly with that. So let's look at your next oracle card. So sorry, you guys. Wow. Okay. You have the zebra. Okay. Talk about tapped in. I'm immediately drawn to the little triangle, the like rainbow colored, multicolored triangle in the center of the zebra's face, right at that third eye. So yeah, like I was saying, you guys are super tapped in. Your intuition's off the charts. You are this direct channel. Yeah. This is just showing me how tapped into a higher spiritual realm you really are. You're intuitive to the point that it's almost scary. I think that you either know you're psychic or you have questioned it many times. This could have been something that made you feel like you were different, made you stand out in some way. Another thing that I'm seeing with the zebra is these black and white stripes. They're really representing the way that you've been able to bring the dark and the light aspects of your personality and your life experience together into one cohesive and, I want to say, beautiful thing. I mean, think about how gorgeous this animal is. And it's like taking all of these aspects and experiences that you've had and putting them together into all that is you is something that's unique and beautiful. And it's like, I just feel like your guides are like kind of cheering you on in a way, or encouraging you to recognize this beauty that's inside of you, and to realize that all of these experiences have shaped you, have molded you, have created this, I don't know why I want to say soup. Is it more food references? Are you guys eating? Like, I don't even want to call you soup. That doesn't sound right. But it's like it's creating this delicious soup, or this beautiful soup. Can soup be beautiful? Sure. Why not? Why not? Let's move away. Let's move away from that. And you guys, you need a snack. I don't know what's up, but I think you need a snack. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you've learned, or you're learning how to embrace all parts of yourself, and how all of these parts, all these different parts have shaped you. It's almost like this light aspect of you, this light worker part of you. It's like this part of you wouldn't even seem as bright if it weren't for the dark. You wouldn't recognize how bright it is if it weren't for your challenges. Even though sometimes I feel like you guys... Honestly, sometimes I feel like you guys have been dealt an unfair hand. But it's cultivated this strength within you today, like that's unmatched, that couldn't have been created any other way. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, your lessons, your challenges here on earth are directly tied to your spiritual gifts, healing energy. healing energy all around you. So some of you might actually feel called to energy healing work, and I feel like your psychic awareness too is a main gift that's jumping out. So energy healing and psychic awareness are coming through very strong for you guys. But it could be even more. With this kind of energy, I feel like you're definitely gifted in multiple areas. I feel like there's something really free-spirited about you. You may love to travel, or you want to travel more, and this could be a way that you're meant to use your spiritual gifts through some sort of missionary work, volunteer work. I'm hearing Doctors Without Borders. Okay. I don't know if that's a direct message for some of you. That might be like total confirmation. I feel like for some of you that is total confirmation, and for others of you there's something subtle about that I'm missing. So give me a second. This could be about making like medical care available in different parts of the world. So that's kind of the surface level. But generally this is about spreading healing energy, that healing energy that you have within you, spreading it. Okay, I think I might be figuring this out. I feel like it's almost like this idea of without borders kind of applies to you because you think outside of the box. And the way that you're able to heal those around you, and even the way you're able to heal yourself, is different, and it's innovative in some way. So this might be that you have looked into like an alternative way of healing, maybe even healing yourself. And then this is something that you can use to help others. Because there's something different about this. There's something it's not basic. You're not basic. Like that's what I'm seeing here. You're not basic. So I feel like anything you do is going to be different and innovative in some way. But it's not the norm. It's not what's expected. So it could be that your spiritual gifts are meant to be used in a way that's not normal, that's not average, that's not expected. And that could even be why it could have been hard for you to like define these gifts at times, because it's just like, it's totally outside the box. It's never been done before. It's never been done like this. That could be what this is about. Yeah, you're able to blend the light with the dark. You might even have the tendency to take two things that seemingly would not go together and put them together. So you might blend two of your passions to create something that's very unique to you, is what I'm hearing. So yes, these are all ways that you're meant to use your spiritual gifts. Let's look at the tarot and see what else we can get. I'm hearing like, okay, here's just kind of a random example. This could be something like, you're passionate about healing. You could be passionate about like medicine or herbal healing or something like that. And you're also very artistic. And it's like your paintings, just as an example, it doesn't have to be paintings, but let's say you hang your paintings all throughout your office where people come for some sort of medical healing, but they're also receiving this energetic healing from you because you've blended two of your passions, and they feel comforted and they feel soothed by this artwork, something like that. Like two things that it's just like, these have nothing to do with each other, but they do because they are made one by you. And this is how you're meant to use your spiritual gifts. You blend things that shouldn't go together, that wouldn't typically go together, and you create something new, innovative, beautiful, and it provides healing. One way or another, it provides healing. Energetic, physical healing. Okay, let's see. We have the Temperance card, card 14. I find that interesting for some reason that you have card 14 here and card 15. Yeah. There might be something about releasing things. I'm thinking of card 15 in the tarot, which is the Devil card. So this can talk about addictions. It can talk about attachments. So there might be like something here about your gifts helping people to release, to let go, to heal in some way. We have the Two of Emotions here, Two of Cups. And that's that connection. Let's see. What is the purpose of number 2's spiritual gifts and abilities? What's the purpose? Okay. The Two of Materials, Two of Pentacles, two twos, and Temperance, which is about balance. I'm sensing a theme here. One more card. We have the Muse of Inspiration. This would be the King of Wands in traditional tarot. We'll peek at the bottom of the deck. 10 of Emotions, 10 of Cups energy. What's funny is the picture here in your first oracle card gives me that 10 of Cups feeling. It gives me that like fulfillment and joy. We're talking about you spreading this idea of joy and light and fulfillment out into the world. So I feel like that 10 of Cups, I feel like this is something you kind of you give people, that ultimate fulfillment, that 10 of Cups energy, and you also have cultivated that or working to cultivate that inside yourself. And that's why it spreads out into the world so easily, so effortlessly. This is actually really gorgeous. Let's start here with the Temperance card. So Temperance is about patience. It's about finding balance. Like we were saying, it may have taken you a little while to kind of find your place or to figure out your gifts. And you might still be in a place of discovery when it comes to your spiritual gifts and your abilities. And that's all right too. Temperance reminds us to focus on the long-term vision and kind of remain in a state of moderation. So not needing to rush. Like, there's no need to rush. You're right where you need to be is kind of the message that I'm hearing. If that's been a concern for you, if it's been kind of frustrating, like, what is this for? Why am I seeing this thing, this sign, or why am I feeling this way? This is just about kind of taking it as it comes and remaining balanced. Now, we can transfer that idea of balance over into the next two cards that showed up for you, because you have the Two of Emotions and the Two of Materials. So twos are also about balancing. It is kind of interesting that you had both of these cards come out, because it is showing me taking a balanced approach, but it's also the idea of taking those two things and blending them together, two things that might not typically go together. I'm seeing that message again with the twos, and two might just be a significant number for you. Some of you I'm hearing were born on the 2nd, born on the 22nd, or you just see twos everywhere. This could be confirmation for you. I think with your spiritual gifts, you have the ability to bring people together as well. I'm hearing that with this, especially with the Two of Emotions here. You have the ability to bring people together, to merge ideas together, to sort through. I really feel like to sort through energy in a way that clears and transmutes it, that makes sense of things that were once confusing. You might be great at being like a neutral party or a moderator when it comes to arguments or disputes. A mediator is coming to mind. You might be really good at mediating situations and finding solutions that other people didn't see to solve a problem. That's where that outside of the box thinking comes in. That's where it plays in. And your thoughts and your inspiration that's outside of the box is really a gift from the divine. This is a part of you being so connected. This is part of your spiritual gifting. You are so connected that you can see things in a different way. You can see how to get around problems. You can see how things can fit together when other people would have thought that they don't go together. These are directly channeled messages. Yeah, this definitely, I'm trying to feel into that. This definitely ties back into your psychic abilities, because you're able to see how a situation will turn out before it's happened. And you're really, because you're so generous and your kind nature, it kind of helps you to find solutions that will be beneficial for all parties involved. That's where that mediator kind of energy comes in. You might find yourself being a mediator a lot of times with friends, family members. Maybe you find yourself caught in the middle of arguments or disputes a lot. And I think a reason for that is because you are you're so intuitive, you're so psychic and connected that people want your opinion. They want your kind of like they want your energy in the mix because they know your energy will heal the situation. They know that they will be able to reach an outcome that is beneficial if they involve you in it. So that might be draining or annoying to you, but this is really because of your spiritual gift, the reason people see your value in situations like that. There's so much creative energy here. I just feel like you guys are able to use your gifts in any artistic pursuits. Because whatever art, I was going to say whether you're doing this or that, but I feel like it doesn't matter. It's just whatever art you might feel called to create, whatever that means. It doesn't have to be that you're painting. It's just whatever your artistic expression is. It's almost like it's been channeled from the divine. It's been inspired what am I trying to say? It's been inspired. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been inspired by a divine force, and you're kind of the perfect channel to be able to interpret and express these messages. In other words, you guys, divinity flows through you. And there's so much you can do with that. So I feel like one of the gifts that you have is to be able to, with this muse of inspiration, it's like divinity is your muse, and the ideas and the concepts that are given to you, they come straight from the divine. And it's like the reason that you are poured into in this way is because you have the ability to express it. So you wouldn't be given these ideas, you wouldn't see this vision, you wouldn't see how to create this particular piece of art or whatever it might be before it has even existed if you weren't meant to express it. And you are the type of person that is able to express it, to bring it into the physical. So this is another way that you're a direct channel. This is you can channel messages from the divine in an artistic way. It doesn't have to be that you're always communicating, talking, expressing these messages. You can channel something from the divine by painting. It could be through songwriting, so that would be more of a vocal expression, but there are so many ways you can express that. And there's so many reasons why these inspirations come to you because of your ability to express it. Okay. You guys, I'm so excited. I'm pumped up because I just feel like you guys are creating so many beautiful things, or you're about to create so many beautiful things, and just the inspiration behind them is exciting. So let's take a look at, no, I was going to move into, let's do this first. Let's grab your oracle cards. Yeah, I told you I got so excited. I lost my whole train of thought and forgot what we were doing here, but let's grab you some oracle cards and just see what messages we can get in terms of the purpose behind these spiritual gifts. For a lot of you, there is an artistic purpose here. Like, it's coming through so strong. There's something that you're meant to create. We had the Thief card come out. So some of you are meant to like rob somebody. No, I'm joking. Let's see. One more card for you. Oh, there we go. We had the Queen card come out. Okay. Let's talk about this. Here's something I'm noticing right off. With the Thief card, the light attribute of this, it actually says sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. So there we go again with this light worker energy. There is something here about the light with you guys. Sheds light. Even the Queen card, look at the Queen card, even this one, it starts with radiates. Radiates a regal, the regal feminine uses her benevolent authority to protect others. So we have all of these, all this like kind of imagery or colorful language to reiterate this idea of light. You are here to spread light. You are most likely a light worker. Most likely everyone who is drawn to this pile is some form of light worker, because these messages are just coming through so strong. So really interesting. I feel like you guys see the light in others. You had to find that light within yourself, and now you're able to bring that out of other people. yeah, this light energy that you have, the reason it's so important is that the reason it's so important that you spread it is because it does actually, sorry you guys, this is coming through as an image, so I'm trying to put words to it, but it's like there is a form of protection here, and this I think ties into that healing energy. This light that is within you, when you spread it, it actually is sort of a protective force for you and for anyone around you, because it kind of has the ability to transmute dark or negative energies, and this can be really therapeutic to you and to those around you. Just keep that in mind. It's like, if there is something dark or negative, you are really the person that can wipe that out with your light. And that is a main reason that you've been given the abilities that you have. So let's move on and let's look at, we will start with things that will strengthen your spiritual gifts. So let's look at what will strengthen your spiritual gifts. We have the Four of Swords, the Four of Cups in reverse. Might as well let you look at it the right way, huh? And we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. So right off, rest. Rest is revealing itself as something really important. Rest really strengthens your gift. So this is kind of a good reason to go to bed a little bit earlier, to not exhaust yourself, and to just take the time to rest, to recoup, to recover. It might be that when you are very exhausted or depleted, your psychic abilities are weakened. And being mindful of this, getting enough rest, making sure that you're tuned in and tapped into your gifts, that could be something that's coming up for you. This is also speaking to me about meditation. So you might find that kind of quieting your mind with a meditation practice strengthens your gifts. We have the Four of Cups in reverse. And this is really telling me that when you kind of lean into your interests or your passions, you will grow spiritually. You may even discover more gifts that you that you haven't known about, that you haven't revealed yet. You might discover that you have more of these gifts as you lean into your passions. Now, we were talking a lot about passion. The zebra is a fire element animal, and this talks to me a lot about passions. We also have the Muse of Inspiration, which is the King of Wands, another card about passion. So this is about your interests. This is about things that you feel very drawn to, that you feel very passionate about. And this is kind of telling me that any kind of pursuit in that direction, going toward what calls to you the most, letting yourself flow towards what's drawing you in, is really going to strengthen your spiritual and your psychic abilities. This is really, with this Four of Cups in reverse, this is really a message of not pursuing things simply because you think you should, or because it's what you're expected to do. If it doesn't interest you, if it doesn't light you up, if you don't get that passionate feeling about it, it's like, don't even pursue it, because that's not going to strengthen your psychic gifts. What's going to strengthen your psychic or your spiritual gifts is leaning into the passion that you feel, and kind of like going after what interests you, what naturally feels like it's calling to you. Yeah. A lot of your reading has centered around passion and inspiration, and that's really because you are someone who's divinely inspired, and not everyone has that kind of connection with the divine. So yeah, this is really, really telling you to allow yourself to pursue what you naturally gravitate toward, and your gifts will be reinforced and strengthened. With this Knight of Swords, I'm seeing that something that strengthens your gifts is acting fast, taking action on the inspiration that you're receiving. That kind of allows divine inspiration to flow through you more easily when you act on it. For example, if you if you have an idea to help someone, or if you have the inspiration for, you know, a painting or whatever, if this is an artistic thing, the quicker you take action on that, the more that inspiration will flow. And then the next ideas will come, and then the next and the next, and so on. So that's really important for you. You can strengthen these abilities by not sitting on these ideas for too long. I'm hearing don't let it wither on the vine. So not letting something just hang out until it rots, or hang out until it's no longer relevant, or whatever it might be. When you get those intuitive hits, it's to trust it, because you are so intuitive and so tapped in. So if you have that idea like, oh, I think maybe I can help this person by doing this thing, it's like, do that right then. Do it as soon as you can, and then your next inspiration will come, and your ability to be tapped in, your ability to be this channel will be strengthened the more that you listen and act on these little nudges that you're getting, I'll call it. I also want to point out that you got 2 4s. You had 2 4s come out with the 4 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. So the number 4 could be meaningful to you. It could be a sign for you to look out for. We also had 2s as something that might be meaningful for you. 4s represent stability, foundations, balance, the family, and the home. So potentially time spent at home or in a place that feels like home for you or is comforting to you could help you to strengthen your gifts. We were talking about rest being important here, so this could refer to a place where you can rest, a place where you feel comfortable, and you can rest, you can regroup, and you can get connected. We did have a lot of swords come out too, so swords are about communication, and this could be something that helps strengthen your gifts and abilities to communicate about them, to communicate about what you're sensing, what you're feeling, and maybe to communicate with others who have similar experiences so that you can learn and grow from them as well. So let's now look at what is potentially a hindrance to these spiritual gifts, what can get in the way of these spiritual gifts. We have the Moon. We have the Wheel of Fortune. This card showed up in the last reading in reverse, and it came in the upright for you. We have the 8 of Swords. More swords. More swords. Communication is key. Okay. What I'm seeing here is that any kind of fear that you have around your gifts, whether this is the gift itself that scares you sometimes, or it could be a fear of not being good enough, or not wanting to be seen in a particular way related to your spiritual gifts, maybe not even trusting the gifts sometimes, not believing that they're real. These are all, it's interesting the way this is coming through, because the way this is showing up to me is actually saying the only things that can hinder your spiritual gifts are things that are illusions, especially like with the Moon and the 8 of Swords. Yeah, going back to the beginning of the reading, I feel like you guys, like I was saying, you guys knew that you had this purpose. You've sensed this, even if you didn't know what it was called or what to do with it. You've sensed this. And I'm just seeing here that there's like literally nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can stand in the way of your spiritual gifts, except for getting in your own head and letting fears around these gifts and abilities kind of crop up. And it's all an illusion, because you guys, you are good enough. You're perfectly capable. You're more than capable. You might doubt yourself sometimes. The 8 of Swords is really a sign for us to get out of our own way. So the only thing that can stop you is you, really. With the Wheel of Fortune here, there could be kind of a tendency to ignore the signs or to overlook what the universe is guiding you to do when it comes to developing your gifts. So that could be literally something that is stopping you or holding you back. But again, it's more about you getting out of your own way, listening to these signs, following it through, seeing where it leads, seeing what it shows you. And not being in kind of this mental prison of not thinking you're good enough, or not thinking that you're gifted, or not thinking you can handle all of this, because you have the capacity to do that. So any kind of fear or anything that crops up around this, it's all illusion. It's all illusion. And getting out of your own way can also mean being observant, following things through. Like if you're seeing a sign over and over again, looking into it, writing it down so that you can return to that idea and really discover, dig deeper, figure out what's going on there. Alrighty, let's get some last messages for you. This can be advice or can help us to just more clearly decipher some of the messages that have come through for you already. So what messages do you have for number 2 regarding the purpose behind their spiritual gifts and abilities? Number 2. Oh, there we go, on the floor. Let me grab your card. Oh, it was 2 cards. Okay. 2 cards flew out together. Let's see what we have. We have illumination. You guys, is that not light again? I don't know how many different ways we can talk about light and being a light worker. We've got illumination, we've got sheds light, we've got radiates, we've got all of this stuff about light, and we have opportunity. I feel like your gifts are really lighting the way and creating this opportunity for you. And that's the message that's coming through here. There's just so much information about you guys lighting up, lighting up others. We have wonders at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, this is really beautiful energy. This is a reiteration, but I feel like this opportunity is not only being created within you, but it's also something that you're able to spread and express to others. You're able to create opportunities for others to experience this light, to experience joy, to grow, to form a deeper connection. You're able to do that through this light. You guys are definitely light workers. Like, I don't know if this is the first time that you have, been introduced to this idea, or the first time you've even considered the fact that you might be here to spread that light. If this is, please look into that, because we were kind of talking about maybe the tendency to not look into things, to explore, to get that information so that you can grow in that way. So if you have not explored this idea of being a light worker, this is definite confirmation to do that. It will create a lot of opportunity for you. It will open up a lot for you. So yes, I think I'm going to leave it there. Number 2, thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you did resonate with these messages, if you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number 3, if you were drawn to the green candle and this oracle card, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out the purpose behind your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities, and just what you're meant to do with these gifts that you've been given. So let's dive right in and look at your first oracle card. So you were drawn to card 32, Temple Secrets, and I'm immediately just honing right in on the number on this card, the 32, which is interesting because I don't think that's happened in the other readings where the number seems like very significant. So, well, 32 might be significant to you. You might be 32 years old. It could be something like that. It could even be the number 23 that is significant, and that these numbers are in reverse. So for some of you, that could be true. I am thinking that this has a lot to do because the 32 reduces to a 5. 5s carry with them the energy of change. I'm getting a feeling that this change has a lot to do with how your spiritual gifts are meant to change you, are meant to help you to grow and evolve. But I'm also seeing this image of like a stone being thrown into like a still pool of water, where there's a ripple. So I feel like this is about a ripple effect. Like your gifts are meant to help you to grow and evolve, but there's also a ripple effect where others are meant to benefit from these gifts that you've been given as well. I feel like for some of you, you may feel like an awakening or waking up to your spiritual side has changed you at your core. Almost like I'm getting the feeling like you'll never look at life the same way. You'll never be able to unsee things the way that you have now seen them, is how this is coming through. The main reason that you have the giftings that you do is to help you grow and evolve as a spiritual being. I feel very strongly that you came, this is kind of heavy. It feels like you came to this plane of existence with a mission, is how it's coming through. Even if that mission isn't totally clear to you right now, it's like you came with a mission. There's a lot of purpose behind this energy that I'm feeling. I was picking up on a heavy purpose in reading number 2 as well. It's a different energy, so it's weird. It's not the same energy at all. It does not feel the same. But the way that I'm describing it is very, very similar. We'll see how many similarities there are. And I will say, if you felt drawn to that reading, maybe look at it. But this does feel different to me. Yeah, your gifts are a huge part of your personal evolution. Okay, many of you, this is really interesting. I don't know why this is coming through. Many of you have had multiple past lives, and you may have even been described at times as an old soul, or have felt like you're an old soul. I feel like some of you, even as kids, were described as an old soul, and you were like, what does that mean? I'm only 5. You know what I mean? Like that kind of feeling. You might have memories, and for some of you, these are very vivid memories of a past life, or you may have even had the experience where you've met people that you are just sure that you somehow have connected with in a past life. And I feel like in some way we're kind of dancing around it. I'm trying to sift through this energy and figure it out, but I feel like this connection that you have to past lives and past life recall is connected to your spiritual gifts in some way, and that this is able to help both you and others heal from past life trauma, past trauma in general. So it doesn't have to be past life, it can be in this lifetime, but past trauma. It can help to end karmic cycles and cut cords that bind us to past versions of ourselves that no longer resonate with us. This is how your spiritual gifts can be used, or this is one way that your spiritual gifts can be used to clear away old patterns, to cut cords. To undo is how it's coming. To undo. So I don't know what gifts you identify with. I'm already getting that there's something here with past life recall being one of your spiritual gifts, and I know that you are meant to invoke change. So yeah, I don't know how it ties in for you, and we might reveal more spiritual gifts that you might resonate with, but I'll tell you, whatever it is, there's some ability to undo, to help people move on from the past, heal traumas of the past. And this, for a lot of you, is coming from a lot of personal experience as well, because I feel like this is a journey that you have been on as well, cutting those cords. Really interesting. This mission that I was referencing, I feel like ending karmic cycles is a big part of this mission. Yeah. Wow, you guys, this is heavy. This is why this came through as a mission, because I feel like there's something, I'm hearing it starts and it ends with you. It starts and it ends with you. I don't know what that means. I kind of see this visually, but I feel like there's something about you where the spiritual gifts that you've been given, it's like, I feel like when, like, if this is an outside person, for instance, when they come into your presence, there's something about the gifts that you've been given that can put, even something that has a lot of momentum behind it, it can put that to an end. So even if this is like negative cycles that have a lot of momentum built up behind them, these could be cycles that have even been going on for lifetimes. it's like it ends with you. I'm seeing you as this pillar as well. That might resonate for some of you, but it ends with you. And then I think the start is the start of something new, the start of this new cycle, the start of being able to move on from these traumas. Yeah, you guys might be some sort of trauma counselor. If we're putting this into more practical terms, you may have been drawn to counseling people through traumatic events. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that. This is your spiritual gift. So this is something that you are able to do through the giftings that you have automatically. Like you're able to do this whether you've gone into a line of work that helps facilitate this or not. Wow. Okay. This is a lot. This is a lot. You and number 2, you had a lot of messages coming through in the beginning. What I'm picking up on for you, number 3, is that your spiritual gifts really, they make you extremely wise. So this might be that you feel like you're channeling information. We were talking a lot about channeling in the other readings. It hasn't come up directly here yet, but it might be that you're channeling information. It could be from these past lives where you've gotten all of this wisdom, but you're a very gifted advisor. No matter how this wisdom is coming to you, it could be through some sort of clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, something like that. I know there's psychic abilities at play here for you, but there's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of discernment when it comes to your gifts. And this is how you're able to use these abilities. You're able to discern. You're able to see the truth. You're able to see the essence. And you can apply that to your life. Okay, let's get deeper into this because yeah, I wanted to define that more clearly for you. I feel like a lot of you are very introverted. No, I'm hearing pretty introverted. I don't know. There might be a distinction there for you. Very introverted or pretty introverted, but you have an introverted side to you, or you would identify as an introvert. It's like I feel like you guys feel more energized and more at peace when you're alone or with a really small group of trusted friends or family. I'm hearing that if that's the case, that introverted trait is kind of your superpower. And it really helps you to amplify your psychic and your spiritual gifts. So if you have ever looked at that as a downfall or like a weakness of yours, it's not. I'm hearing that's your superpower. So definitely don't shy away from that. Don't go into like total hermit, because we all need some social interaction. I say that so reluctantly as an introvert, but we all need social interaction. But yeah, that's definitely your superpower. So this is where you are able to connect more. This is where you're able to kind of gather up your energy. I just feel like you guys are so observant. Like you guys see everything. And so you might kind of hang back because you like to observe. And this is part of how your gifts play in. You observe, you notice, you see the smallest detail. I honestly feel like you guys are extremely magical, for lack of a better word. Very magical people. You may have even explored actually practicing magic, casting spells, candle magic, things like that, which is really about directing your attention to bring about a particular outcome. This is also... This can also be called prayer. So like it's very interesting how similar these things are, but yeah, this can also be about prayer. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is about prayer, and this can be about some kind of magical pursuit, but it can also be about prayer. I like to call magic prayer with props sometimes. So it really is like, it's a form of prayer where you're directing your energy toward maybe a physical object or a group of physical objects, but it's like this is coming through heavily for you. You're magically gifted in some way, and your prayer, how do I want to put this? Your spiritual gifts help you, it's not really so much that helps you. Your spiritual gifts, whatever they are, they bring a certain potency to your prayers, and they make your prayers extremely powerful. You can move mountains through your prayers, is how it's coming through. Very, very powerful, very powerful. I'm also getting really heavy clairaudient vibes from you guys. So we were talking about like potentially what some of these gifts might be. For some of you, that's a main gift that you have, clairaudience, being able to clearly hear messages from spirit, from divine. You also have the discernment to interpret the messages that you hear. So that's another kind of important factor there. The way this is coming through is that your prayers are so powerful because you're able to tap into exactly what a person or a situation needs. Like, you're able to tap into what will heal that person or what will heal that situation. And this could be happening for you through clairaudient messages. It's like you receive messages from spirit, and then you in turn use prayer or your focused attention to communicate back to spirit. And it's that little dance right there. It's something that you do so naturally without even realizing that you're doing it. But it's that little dance that has the power to create massive change. Going back to that 32, that's where the change comes from. I hope that makes sense, because it's very hard to explain, but there's a way that you communicate with spirit that is very unique, and this is something you can use your gifts to do. You are a brilliant co-creator with spirit because you really hold space for blessings to flow into the physical world. Your gifts make you really good at providing guidance, spiritual guidance, reading tarot, even spiritual counseling, astrology. These are all things that might appeal to you based on what it's feeling like your spiritual gifts are. You guys are definitely observers. You pick up on, like I was saying, the smallest little detail that would go unnoticed by most people. Some of the details that you observe are actually things that only you would pick up on because you're made aware of these details through your spiritual gifts. It's like having a sixth sense. But for many of you, I feel like that doesn't fully capture what's going on here. I feel like this is more like having a sixth, a seventh, an eighth sense, and maybe even more than that. So your gifts really help you to see what's hidden. You see what's beneath the surface. They help you to solve problems, to find solutions. I feel like you guys can sense when someone's in pain, that you can kind of draw things out of them, maybe even information out of them. People will open up to you, even if it's about something that they were trying to hide, they were trying to keep to themselves. You'll be able to see it and pick up on it. And you might even receive like auditory messages or a very strong intuitive feeling that someone is in need. Okay, I'm sorry you guys that I was apologizing in the second group too. There's so many messages coming through with the initial cards that I apologize for spending so long on that, but I was trying to like sift through the information and get these messages out to you. So we're looking at your second oracle card now, and we have the Elephant. Definite confirmation about those clairaudient abilities here. I am drawn to the elephant's large ears here. So this is definitely confirming the message that you hear messages from spirit. You are a protector in some way. This is a way you're meant to use your spiritual gifts to protect. I was already kind of getting this sense that you might feel called to stand up for like the underdog in a situation, or feel called to advocate for those who maybe don't have a voice or who aren't in a position of power. Some of you might feel pulled toward legal work, volunteering in some way, being an activist in some way. You are like truly a force. I'm hearing a quiet force. So that's interesting. Very perceptive, and not necessarily the loudest person in the room or the most boisterous, but you are powerfully connected, and that's where that like the power comes from. It doesn't necessarily come from you being like very attention seeking or very loud. I feel like you do draw a lot of attention without being loud. Or even when you're not being loud, you still draw a lot of attention. I feel like these gifts that you have really help you to connect with people on an individual and unique basis. And they kind of allow you to remember important details about people. And this makes it really obvious how much of a caring person you are. And I feel like this not only helps you connect with like new people in your life, like you'll get to know people, they'll see immediately how caring you are, but this also helps you to connect more deeply with your friends and your family members, because you're someone who actually listens. Back to the ears, you receive messages of all kinds, so you're used to listening. And I feel like this is something that has always been the case for you. You've always received these messages, so you might not even know like what a great listener you are, because you're always listening for messages and for insight. And you also listen when people talk to you. You actually listen to people. So you will listen and you will pick up on the details of what someone's going through, what struggles they're having, what they're excited about, because you are hearing them when they talk. And I feel like what's coming through here is, on top of listening to them, I feel like you use your spiritual gifts to listen for them, because you're so tapped in, your intuition is so on point. And really just also back to that, the incredible amount of wisdom that you're able to hold within you, that actually helps you to guide people and to advise people, even if you don't realize you're tapping into a spiritual gift to provide that that guidance. You are, when you're connecting with someone, you are getting messages for them, and you are able to communicate that to them through the form of good advice, a listening ear, that kind of thing. Like, you're able to get those messages from spirit directly to people. I feel like you do this so naturally, which is such a gift. I feel like you just do that automatically. These gifts that you have, they allow you to break down obstacles, to just plow through barriers. This is what the elephant represents for me. And for that reason, you're kind of the type of person that people want to have on their team, because you're a warrior. I feel like saying you're a spiritual warrior. So there's something about this, like, people know that you care, that you listen, that you respond, that there's something intuitive about you. So this is how these gifts are playing into your everyday life. But also, you're going to find a way around any kind of barrier. You're going to speak up for someone who doesn't have a voice, and you're going to give them a way out. You're going to give them hope. You're going to give them a path and a vision, because you can see past whatever barrier might be standing in their way. You see what other people don't see. Another thing that's coming out here is that you see people's true colors. So I feel like your spiritual gifts act as kind of an alarm system for you. You can immediately tap into, like, this person has bad intentions, they've got a bad vibe. Like, you can tell somebody you need to stay away from that person, they have a bad vibe, or you can choose to distance yourself from someone with a bad vibe. It doesn't have to be all negative. This is also, you will feel immediately drawn to people who are resonating more on your level, who have more of a positive energy. You're also drawn to people that are in need of help, in need of assistance, in need of support. You're drawn there. So you are meant to use these gifts to help others. To see the truth, to see what's beneath the obvious, is how that's coming through. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. Let's see number 3. Number 3, what is the purpose of your spiritual gifts? What is the purpose of your spiritual gifts, number 3? I feel like so strongly that, like, you guys really do see, you can cut through any kind of, like, I don't want to be vulgar, but like the BS, you can really cut through the BS when it comes to getting to know people. You, like I was saying, you see people's true colors. It might be something that's very obvious to you, and other people don't realize it. Like, you might meet somebody and be like, oh, I can see what's really going on there, and the people around you might not realize it. They might be like, what do you mean? And like, it turns out you're right. This is how you use these spiritual gifts in your everyday life. We have the Hanged Muse in reverse. What is the purpose of your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities? Number 3. The Three of Voices in reverse. Right as I said number 3, you had the Three of Voices come out. And you also have card 32. So, threes might be significant. Seem to be showing up for you a lot. We have the Two of Emotions. This is a card that showed up in one of the other readings as well. Bottom of the deck, the Wheel. Love it. I love it. I feel like for a lot of you, the gifts that you have are like kind of destined abilities. It's only a matter of time if they haven't started to uncover themselves to you, but I feel like they probably have, but it's like, it's only a matter of time. The Wheel shows kind of things reaching a turning point. It can be a sign of luck, and I feel like that's kind of the role that you play in other people's lives sometimes, because you show up right in the nick of time. There's something about your spiritual gifts that allow you to be able to tap into, like I was saying, when someone's in need, or when a situation might be going awry. So you have a tendency of showing up in the nick of time and kind of saving people, and it's like you're a good luck charm. I don't know if you realize that you are viewed that way, but I'm definitely getting that energy. People want to hear from you. They want to know what you have to say about things, because you have this ability to know what's really going on, to really like sift out, sort through the details of what's really happening there, even if it's not the same as what appears to be happening on the surface. So we have the Strength card, and we were talking about you being a spiritual warrior, and then the Strength card comes out. I can't think of another card better to represent kind of this feeling of warrior, this warrior strength. You use your gifts to provide strength and encouragement to everyone around you, and you help to remove walls and obstacles, and that lets people move forward, breaking people out of like that stuckness, that stagnancy, like we see here with the Hanged Muse in reverse. This is about forward momentum, where things were once stuck, where everything was still. So breaking people out of that is one of the like practical ways that you use these gifts. You help people to move on. We were talking about ending karmic cycles and healing past trauma. You help people to move on to the next phase of their life and to not be caught in the past anymore. But I want to be clear about this. These spiritual gifts are not just for others to benefit from, if it's coming across that way. Not at all. This is something that you are meant to do in your own life as well, and probably something that you have been doing in your own life. But don't think for a second that you have to use your gifts just to help everyone else and not benefit from them yourself. You are able to clear things out, to close out cycles in your own life. You are able to help yourself to move on to new iterations of yourself, to evolve, to leave past traumas behind, to even leave people, relationships, and circumstances in the past that do not serve or benefit you. You have a really clear knowing when it's time to move on from things, when it's time to let go, when it's time to heal. You have this ability to know the timing of this. You're able to persevere, and you're able to heal. Like I'm saying, with this Three of Voices, this is the Three of Swords in reverse. This is showing your ability to heal yourself and others, your ability to know when it's time to do so, your ability to, I feel like this is very important, because this is about actually healing on a fundamental level. Sometimes people try to move on before the trauma's been healed, before the lesson's been learned, before they've been made whole. And you are the type of person, and your spiritual gifts allow you to know how to actually heal from these things, to make that that next step forward more meaningful and more permanent. Because if we don't truly heal and we try to move on, it won't last. It won't stick. And it's like you have a way of making it a permanent transition, a permanent change. And I also feel like you, again, you just connect really deeply with others. You feel their pain. You celebrate their successes, their wins with them. You provide encouragement with this Two of Emotions. It's about deep, deep connection and partnership. So you might be in a profession, or you might have the tendency to kind of partner with people to, there's a loyalty. I think that's the feeling I'm getting. There's a loyalty about you, and you use your gifts, and you're very loyal and committed to anyone who you're going to provide this guidance to. Real integrity behind what you do is how it's coming through. Let's see what else we can get with some oracle cards and see what other messages are coming through regarding the purpose behind your spiritual gifts. Number 3. Okay, well, we had Samaritan, so yeah. This is about helping others. That's so interesting, because a lot of your message is about helping others, and that's why I felt really called to tell you that your gifts can help and benefit you as well. They're not just something that you have to give away. It's something you will. You're a generous person. You want to help people, so you will give them away. But it's like maybe a little bit of a reminder to make sure to take care of yourself too. But it's just so interesting that the Samaritan card shows up, and we have Detective. Okay, this is hilarious, you guys. Yeah, the details. This one. I'm trying to like gonna go back and think about the messages that were coming through, because there were a lot of messages coming through about you being able to observe the details, to see what other people won't see, what they can't see, to see what's really going on in a situation, or see people's true colors. So yeah, that's that detective energy. Very observant, very intuitive, and looking for the truth. That's an important quality in all of what I'm seeing here. You're a truth seeker, and I feel like you're not afraid to find it. Some people are really afraid to find the truth. You're not afraid to find the truth. You'll dig around in the shadows to find the truth, as long as it's going to help someone, as long as it's going to be beneficial, as long as it's going to be an important part of a healing process. That's kind of crazy, but yeah, you do this for others. You do this to help people. It's very funny, because something's coming to mind. I feel like for a lot of you in your friend group, or with a good friend of yours or something, you're that person that they want to go and run by, like any potential romantic partner or something. It's like you'll be able to dig up the details on this person, find out what's really going on with them, if they're telling the truth about, you know, who they are and what they want and all of that. I feel like you're that person that can really really get into the meat of all those details and help someone to figure out, like, is this the right choice for me? Is this the right person? And it might not have to do with romantic partners. That's just an example. You are the type of person that helps people go through the details and really find their truth. I was going to say the truth, but it's beyond that. It's you find their truth. What's going to be right for them? Is this situation right for them? Is this person right for them? You have the ability to do that. Okay. Let's move on to the portion of the reading where we're going to look at what strengthens your spiritual gifts, and also what can stand in the way of your spiritual gifts. So we will start with what will strengthen your spiritual gifts. We have the Queen of Cups, the Four of Wands, and oh wow, the Queen of Pentacles. So 2 queens. That's kind of crazy. Right away, it's like, I think maybe tapping into your feminine energy, no matter what gender you identify as. Tapping into a feminine energy could be important to developing your spiritual gifts or strengthening your spiritual gifts. These queens also are representing a mother figure for me. So this might have to do with a mother figure in your life, someone that you can learn a lot from. You may be a mother. Yeah, this might be about, this is either about your mother or a mother figure in your life, or this is about you as a mother. So this could be that, that like your children help to strengthen your spiritual gifts. They may have deepened your spiritual practice, awakened you to new ideas. Yeah, I do think that becoming a mother for a lot of you might have changed things for you. It might have deepened things. This can also be a message that you will learn a lot from your children. There might be something that you learned from your child that has helped to strengthen your spiritual gifts. That's really interesting. The Four of Wands can talk about homecoming. So this could literally be referring to going home to visit your mother. It might not have anything to do with your mother. It might just be about going home. For some of you, this is a mother and a grandmother for you. This is so interesting, you guys. There's a lot of messages coming through, but I'm kind of circling around something. I'm feeling like there's a message about getting back to your roots, and this being something that can strengthen your gifts. So this could be diving into like a religious or a spiritual practice that your family follows. It could be about connecting with your ancestors. Maybe, like I was saying, visiting your hometown, or visiting the country that your family originates from. I just keep hearing back to your roots. So there might be some kind of tradition that is calling to you, or some kind of desire to return to something that feels familiar to you, and that's going to strengthen your spiritual gifts. This can be about being in the presence of a mother or a mother figure, and there could just be a person in your life or people, because for some of you this is your mom and your grandma, I'm hearing. And there might be something that, some kind of spiritual practice that they're into, or that they have a lot of wisdom and knowledge about, and it's like you are feeling drawn to go to them, to hear from them, to study with them, something like that. Yeah, I lost my other train of thought. I'm sorry, but I feel like this might be about you spending time, that's what it was, spending time around this mother figure that can teach you, or this might even just be about comforting you. It might not be that you're going to learn directly, but there's just some sense of comfort and some sense of being at home and celebrating that really helps to just bolster this spiritual side of you. It helps you to tap back into the spiritual side of you. For some of you, I'm seeing that you literally want to put your feet on the ground, or put your hands in the earth. Oh, this is coming through so odd. And this can also be about the water. If you are from like a seaside town, or a place that's really close to the ocean or something like that, this is like you want to put your bare feet in the sand in your hometown, or you want to touch the earth in your hometown, and there's something about returning to home that will strengthen your spiritual gifts. That's kind of specific. I feel like that's something that some of you need to hear, and probably something that you might have felt like you were more connected then. This can talk about your childhood too. This could be like you were so connected when you were a child, and going back to that original place, those original and familiar surroundings can help to strengthen your spiritual gifts. Okay, let's move on from that. That was a lot. I feel like there's more. Let's look at what can get in the way of your spiritual gifts. Yeah, how are we wording this? Like what factors can stand in the way of your spiritual gifts, or what can hinder them? So we have the Star. Let's make that focus. We have the Two of Wands. That's interesting energy. We have the Two of Pentacles. Is that not focusing? Come on. The Two of Pentacles. Okay. You know what's so interesting? In one of the past readings, I had two twos. I don't remember what it was. It was probably the Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, but that was just really interesting. So again, we're looking at the number 2 being of significance. We had the 2 with 32. You guys, like, for some reason, 2, 3, and 4 were showing up for you. Did 4 show up for you? 2 and 3, definitely. You did have the 4 of Wands, but I don't know if we had a repeated message. So it might not be 2, 3, and 4. I think it's 2 and 3 are showing up for you as very significant numbers. This might sound odd, number 3, but I feel like what might stand in the way of your spiritual gifts is your potential, is how this is coming through. How you have, like, you have so much potential with the Star card. It's like showing, it's showing so much hope. It's showing so much inner clarity for you. It's showing you really being in the spotlight in some way. And I feel like the main thing that can stand in your way is that you have so much potential that it can be difficult for you to decide what to pursue at any given time. With the Star card, really anything is possible. And I feel like that's kind of like a metaphor for, like, is that a metaphor? I feel like it's a metaphor for all the things that you're capable of when it comes to these gifts that you have. The sky's the limit. The potential is infinite. And it's because you're gifted in so many areas. There's so much potential inside of you that it can feel overwhelming. There's so many skills that you could develop or that you could pursue, and so many different ways that you could help people, that it could be that you find yourself in analysis paralysis. Sometimes with the 2 of Wands and 2 of Pentacles, you're weighing your options, you're figuring things out. These are not very motion heavy cards. So it's like, yeah, you can get stuck in a state of analysis, especially because you are so observant. And I think that analyzing things is one of your strong suits. It's something that I think ties into just how you are as a person, how gifted you are as a person, and also it ties into your spiritual gifts. But because of that, it can also show up as a weakness of yours sometimes. You might tend to analyze this so much. You might tend to want to make the right step, you know, before you step at all, and just be in this place of like stuckness. But really, this isn't that bad. Like, yeah, you might not make a decision. You might not make a decision when you should. I'm just feeling like there's a tendency to not take action sometimes. But the thing about this is, for this to be what is potentially standing in your way, I feel like someone with as much potential as you have can easily overcome that. And it's not a state that you find yourself in all the time. It can just happen sometimes. But basically, it's like you have so much potential. That's what can stand in your way, this amount of potential. And that's not so bad. That's actually a really good thing. That's a beautiful thing. So let's get some final messages for you. Advice or something that can help to clarify some of these other messages that we had for you. Let's see, number 3. Number 3, what messages do you have? Oh, wow. Okay. Hold, please. Apparently, there's a lot of messages for you because a lot of cards just fell out. Okay. I'm not going to be able to take any of those because it was so many. We'd be here all day. Let's see. Messages for number 3. We have the Flow card. Why am I hearing vinyasa flow for some of you? Are you guys, some of you are yogis. That could have to do with, there's your card on the floor. That could have to do with part of this energy that we were talking about to strengthen your spiritual gifts. This could be being in that flow or practicing your yoga flow. We have Purification. That's a beautiful card. That is so gorgeous. Okay. Let's see here. So I feel like with this flow card, I feel this sense of encouragement to kind of flow with the energy of your gifts. The energy of the full moon that is depicted on this card, first of all, gorgeous. it kind of shows me that when you hit your stride, when you begin to flow with your natural gifts, you, like, when you're really listening to that inner voice, you come into a state of fullness and completeness that it lets you really integrate all of this wisdom and all these lessons that you have almost been like storing up for several lifetimes. So it's interesting too, because this moon imagery, it's kind of mirroring this sun that's shown here on the strength card. So Leo energy with that strength card. And I feel like this is mirrored in some way, just showing the sun and the moon both full like that. It's kind of telling me that when you're in flow, you see both what is on the surface of a situation and what is hidden beneath with that sun energy and that moon energy, because you are highly perceptive when you're in that flow state. And I'm just hearing that some of you find this flow state when you're deeply immersed in a creative activity or in something that you're really passionate about. For some of you, it's yoga, because that came through when I was shuffling. But it could be like you're sculpting, for instance, or you're gardening or something like that. We were talking about putting your hands in the dirt or putting your feet directly on the ground. So that could be relevant to some of you. It could be when you're doing these things, and whatever it is for you, I feel like you're going to know what it is, because this is the type of activity that you can do for hours without even noticing. It's like time is just flying by and you don't realize. This is really a key time for you to tap into your gifts of intuition and clairaudience, among other gifts, because I do think there's more here. You might receive messages during this time when you're in that flow state. You might receive messages about loved ones. You might even have like a little bit of a nudge to call someone, to reach out to someone. When you're in that flow state, you're way more connected there. You might even hear from passed on loved ones or hear from your angels or guides when you are flowing. Whatever that means to you. For some of you, it's like you're writing, it just flows. It's like you're in another world. You're in another state of mind, in another dimension, and time will just fly by while you're doing this thing. This is when you are very, very tapped in. This message of purification can be about you clearing and protecting your energy, which I do think is important to you, but I think it also speaks to the change and the purification that you're able to bring to the world around you through your gifts. Your energy is purifying and healing. And like we were talking about, ending old cycles, healing from past traumas. This is that energy of purification that you're able to bring to any situation that you're in. And this is how you help people. This is how you can use your gifts. This is how you use your gifts to benefit yourself and others. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Number 3, thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you enjoyed this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye.